Okay, we have dealt with the phone. We are back to the project. It's actually sat here and dried for a little bit, which is good for us because now we can do a little bit more cleanup and make it just look a little crisper. The more I've looked at the adult, now I've noticed it's very hard for y'all to see the adult. So the adult has a very narrow snout, very pointy here in the front as well. But I'm thinking babies are more big-eyed, big snout. Well, at least that's what I'm telling myself. So I think we're going to make some changes. Okay, we're going to at least narrow this up. Can we see? Can't see. Let me see. Fix this for you. We're going to narrow the snout a little in many ways. So we're going to bring this up and just kind of elongate it a little more. I'd like to put it on a block so that we can lift and turn it as we need to without damaging it. So let me see if I have one close by. I'm looking. Hold on. Bear with me. You're going to see the camera go everywhere real quick. Not there. I've got the dog on one of them. Well, maybe we won't use a block for now because I'm not really sure where I put them. That's okay. See if we can get the table up a little higher for us. That we can do. Okay. Back to it. So see how wide this is? I think it's way too thick through here. Well, let me lift my head up a little. I think it's way too thick through here. So that's what I want to correct for everybody. So if we're going to do some serious... Actually, look at it this way. It's the top that needs to come down because the bottom is flat. So all that work we did on the nose, haha, say goodbye. That's just the nature of the game of sculpting. So that beautiful nose we made, it is now a thing of the past. And that quickly, it's gone. But that's how progress happens, right? We can still get the end result we want by just making some modifications. Sometimes you gotta step away to see things from a different light. It's, you know, the way it is with everything in life, right? Okay. I'm liking that much better. It's got much more of a realistic look to it. But that also means that now that we've removed our nose, it's a little dry here, we might want to add a little moisture here in order to maintain the integrity of what we're sculpting. It has sat here for a little bit, so that does make a difference. So that's what, remember I talked about all the detail work and how it's going to kind of be useless because we're going to have to come back and redo it? This is what I'm referring to when I say all that. Because what you like in the beginning may not be where you end up. But that's okay. I mean, it's a work in progress. It's not a finished masterpiece. This is something we're still creating, and we want to be able to make the adjustments until it's exactly what we're looking for. I'm really liking that right side. I'm hoping I can get the left side to look the same. I'm hoping when people look at my videos, they're not too judgmental because, you know, everybody's got their opinion of things, and we seem to have a world of people who think it's appropriate to say things to people online that are rude and mean when it's not quite necessary. Things I wouldn't say to you in person. I'm hoping I don't get that kind of feedback. If that's the feedback I get, I'd rather those people just stay away. I think we should all be good to each other and support each other in all of our endeavors. It's just my personal opinion. I'd have a much better world for it. Okay. See what we can do here. Okay, so our nose is clearly undefined again. So we're going to go back and redefine that nose like we did earlier. What I'm using is a ball tip. This isn't sharp, it's actually got a little ball on the end of it so that it won't puncture too much if we go through the fabric here. I still want to try to get that rounded edge that we had. It's still a little too dry. Let's moisten up that nose a bit. Hollow spots in there. That's okay. This is how we progress. Okay, is that my tip? Oh, this is my tip. Okay, so we're just going to continue hollowing out the nose like we had originally done. We want that raised edge. We want that thin nostril shape. It's going to be a fat nostril. We want the edge of it thin to be clear. We don't want the nostril to become part of the mouth either, so we want to make sure that we're not intruding on where the mouth would be. We want to close out this little air pocket. Let's get that nostril as high as we can get it for integrity purposes. Well, I say it's for integrity purposes. It's for my personal belief in how it should shape. Okay. It's one. It's a little smaller than I want it to be, so we're just going to keep dragging it out. Haha, the dragon, dragging it out. Yes, sometimes I think I'm funny. So if you're going to listen to my videos, you're going to have to tolerate my silly jokes. Don't worry, I don't make them too often, I don't think. You might make comments and tell me otherwise. Maybe I'm unaware of my sad joking. Okay, so we've got some nostrils. They don't flare quite as much as the previous ones, so we're going to do some sculpting to fix that, because we still want the flare. I'm going to do a little trimming down here to get that. We don't want to trim so much that we find the cavity that we created, but we do want to trim enough to get the definition. That's really all we want, is the definition of this nostril. So remember in the first or second video I told you that this is going to take days? You can see now why it's just a really slow process. There's a lot that's got to be done, and there's just only so much you can get done in each phase while it's waiting to dry, so you can get on to the next area of it. We don't want to leave any rough squared edges on the face, because clearly that's not how nature works. Well, I think I just nostril off. I did. We can fix that. Okay. So the nostril's looking a little better. I think we should thin the side of the mouth down a bit. Give it a little bit more definition through here. That way the under jaw is not as big as the upper jaw. I'm not so sure this is a baby anymore, quite frankly. But it is still the creation, so it is what it is. I'm still going to shoot for a baby. I think we need bigger eyes if we're going to be a baby. Isn't that what everybody loves about babies? Big eyes. Okay. Let's work on these humongous eyebrows here. I'm going to keep it moist. I can see it starting to dry a little bit. So sometimes we don't use the tool end, sometimes we want to use the handle end. Like I said earlier, anything can be your tool. You just want to be able to smooth these eyebrows down into the fabric of the head so that they don't look like they were just placed there absently. And the tool kind of cuts more than you want sometimes, so you just want more of a smoothing motion, and sometimes your finger is too big for the area you're trying to work, so you need some other options. This seems to work quite well, as you can see. Okay, that ridge that we formed earlier on, we've now filled in to where it looks a little more like it was meant to be there. I need another tool. I have all kinds of tools. It's just a matter of finding the right one. Aha! So that's what we're looking for. A little wooden tip that allows us to get what basically would be like a pinky in there for sculpting. Okay. You can see you can smooth it by hand when it's wet, and that'll change the texture of the project. The horn areas that we made earlier are getting pretty dry, so we're going to want to moisten those up, and we're going to clean them a bit. We're going to use this tool here to just kind of shape the edges of them so that they hold their own well. We don't want terribly rough, shaky clay that doesn't give the appearance of what we're looking for. Nice points onto the horns. This one's not very horn-like, but we can fix that. That's the beauty of clay. It's moldable. It's changeable. What you have right now may not be what you have 5 minutes from now. But on the same token, you can damage your entire project because what you have right now may not be what you have 5 minutes from now. See, there I go with my jokes again. But it's true. Okay, I think they're coming along nicely. I'm going to thin this top one out a little more. Smooth it up at least so it's not so chunky. I viewed the first couple takes that we took and they look pretty good, so we're uploading them to YouTube right now. And y'all will get your first view of, I guess, me at work. You know, most people only see projects when they're done, not throughout the creation of them. So be gentle with your comments, please. It's a process. And for those of you that claim you can do better, and I'm sure there are plenty of you that can, show me. Put your work out there. Share it. Art's a wonderful thing, and I would love to see somebody else's take on how they would like to do this. Okay, see how his nose is a little sideways? I'm just going to straighten that out. And I want to clean this up a bit so that we have a tight ridge for the nose. Just wipe that excess onto the project. We're going to do it again on this side. Sometimes it's hard to get the right angle because I am right-handed, not left, and switching the project around can make it a little difficult sometimes. But it's taking shape yet again. Got our nice blob of a body that we've discussed multiple times.